I've had several people ask me how I did the axle for the 4T80 swap into my 86 Fiero. So this is the shaft from a 1999 Cadillac Deville. It has a compressed length as stock of 21.3125 inches. That's a little bit too long to fit in the Fiero suspension with the 4T80. I currently am running the Transport steering knuckles in the back of the car for the bigger bearings and the bigger outer CV joints. But I believe a very similar method could be done with the stock Fiero suspension, and as long as the stock size Fiero outer joint fits onto this end of the shaft, the length should end up pretty close. So essentially what I did is I took this axle, and there's two snap ring grooves on the inside. I cut a new groove as far out as I could get on the splines here, and then moved this smaller groove in by an equal amount. So the tripod now sits kind of in this area instead of this area. So you gain about, I don't know, 3/8 to 1/2 of an inch of a shorter axle. Once that's done, the excess length is cut off. And then similarly on the outer joint, I moved this snap ring groove in as far as I could get while still being on the splines, and then cut off the back end. So between the two, it shortens up, I mean, without measuring it, probably 3/8 to 1/2 inch there, and 3/8 to not quite a 1/2 inch there. And that ended up being short enough that with the vehicle at ride height, I have movement in the inner CV joint. So there's room for the joint to compress and room for the joint to extend. I've had no issues breaking any of the parts of this axle in the last 2 years. Probably several thousand street miles, including, test hits on the streets. All of the driving's on drag radials, other than when I took it on a couple hour highway cruise on street tires. Been multiple no prep events, and then to prep surfaces four different times, running anywhere from a 148, multiple 1.5 60 foots, and lots of 1.6 60 foots. No failures on this, no failures on the 4T80 as well. Hopefully that kind of clears up what I did to make that work. I don't currently have an axle out. The only other issue is when you shorten the axle, the boots normally sit on these grooves here. They end up super compressed, or you need to move the boot in a little bit and reclamp it, almost touching. I've got one where I've got the boots kind of close to this point. I've got one where the boots are touching. A couple of issues with the boot getting pinched and ending up leaking, but overall, no major issues from this setup.